Okay, we are back. I've played around a little bit with the line weights and things. You can see here that the image is kind of hanging off the artboard. So I think the other thing that I want to do is maybe play around with the size of my artboard. This tool right here will allow me to stretch this artboard to be kind of the same size as this image. So I'm just pulling these out, and I'll refine the size of the artboard before I print. But I can do that over here as well, artboard options, and you can see it's kind of a weird size. I'm gonna just make it into a letter size. I've got it in inches. Remember, if you ever need to change from inches to picas or points or millimeters or whatever, if you're not showing the ruler, Command R toggles that on and off. And then if you right click just on top of the ruler, that'll give you your ruler. So the other thing I want to show here is that there is a platform for the light rail. So remember, we're at Penn Station, which is regional rail line. And I want to show that there's a light rail station here, just outside of that 5-minute walk shed. So I have this vector icon. This is in the Canvas folder too. If you want to use this, this has a bunch of trees. It's got some, street symbology, scooter, wheelchair, bicycle, that kind of thing. But I'm going to just use this little guy. I'm going to copy it and paste it right in here. And my situation, let's see, the light rail station is right here. And I want this guy, this outline to be the same color as this guy. So I'm just going to I've selected it with my direct selection tool. That's this one. And then I'm going to use this eyedropper and I'm just going to change it to that. I do want that to have a white background. And then I'm going to draw a dashed line to show how a pedestrian would walk to this train station. And that'll give me my circulation diagram. I'm going to use the pen tool just because it allows me a little bit more flexibility. Just going to show this as walking straight across. This is Oliver Street. So straight across Oliver Street, and it dips down here to the corner and then up. And I'm going to hit P because that'll end my line. And then I don't want this to be filled, so I'm just going to click that off. And then I want this to be kind of a dotted line. So I'm going to use a 2-point. I'm going to use this rounded end. And the corner, I want it enclosed. And then I'm going to do a dashed line. And I'm going to do 0.1 because that'll give me almost a perfect circle. And I'm going to delete these two because I don't want any differences. So that'll give me my perfect circle. I want it just to be a little bit bigger. And actually, I want this to stand out a little bit more. So what I'm going to do, and rule of thumb, if you want this to look right, I always put it to the center of the circle. And then what I'll do is I will right click on it and hit transform. Oops, sorry, arrange, send to back. And then make sure that it's on the right layer here. I've got it, should have put that on the working layer. This should go on the working layer. Okay, now we've got that. All right. And then this mask layer, I'm just gonna lock that. So this looks a little goofy. What I'm gonna do is I'm going to copy it. So edit, copy. I'm gonna change this and I'm gonna make this just a little bit bigger. And then edit, paste in place. And now I've got Oops. And then I'll just bring this one to the front. So arrange, bring to front. So that's another way to make it stand out. I don't know if I like that. I'm gonna undo that for just a second. And then I'm gonna just try this without the dashed line. And then that looks a little bit better to me. Okay, so now I have a layer showing the path. This might be just a little bit high contrast. So I'm gonna back this down just a little bit to 60%. I'm also gonna back the aerial image down to like 85. And then I'm gonna add one more layer. This I'm gonna finish it front. And then I've got my lock icon in one layer. So next I am going to add, I like this bus stop image. This is from a different spot in Baltimore, but it's kind of a fun artistic bus stop. And I want to add this idea to this diagram right here. So in thinking about the fact that there's a bus stop here and there's another one here, I'm going to just copy and paste this. You can see it's huge. So we'll shrink this a little bit, get it kind of into the position that I want it. And I'm going to make a little call out. And then I'm going to draw a circle. I'm going to use this rounded ellipse tool. And you can see that if I do it an ellipse, it just makes whatever shape. I want it to be a perfect circle. So I'm going to hold shift while I'm clicking and dragging. So I click, hold shift, drag, and I'm holding the left mouse key the whole time. I'm going to move it kind of into position, get it into a spot that I like. And then I'm going to select both of those. And I'm going to call this, I'm just going to make this into the bus layer. And I'm going to right click and hit make clipping mask. Oh, before I do that, I'm going to copy this circle image. I'm going to hit Command C. Now I'm going to make this into a clipping mask. And you can see the bus is in there. I don't know if I like this position, so I'm going to use the direct selection tool. I'm going to click inside there, and then I can move the bus image up or down if I need to. And then edit, paste in place. And then I want this also to be this orange color, so I'm going to just use the eyedropper tool for that. And I want this to be just a little bit bigger. And then I'm going to do a little call out. And again, going from the center of the image, and this time I'm using this line segment tool. And I'm just going to draw a couple of call outs here. Oh, there's another bus stop on this bridge. Okay. And then these are kind of thick. I don't love that. I'm going to use my direct selection tool. I'm going to drag them into the, oops. This, you have to be a little bit careful. Make sure that you've got the right thing. And then these two, I want these to be behind. So I've selected them, arrange, send to back. And then I want them to have these little call outs. So I'm going to use the arrowhead feature. And I'm going to use those. And you see how big they are. I'm going to lock this. And then, because that makes it so that both ends will change at the same rate. And I'm going to do 50%. They're still kind of big. So kind of back it down a little bit to 36, 33. I like that.